Hi everyone, I'm Kimiko with Berserk Games. Welcome to the second part of the Tools menu in the UI Overview tutorial series. I'm just going to continue where I left off in the first video, starting with the Flick tool. The Flick tool is a fun one for games that call for certain actions where you wouldn't normally be able to play them, like pool or mini golf. There are lots of different ways you can make use of the Flick tool. Select the Flick tool icon or press your F6 hotkey. Then click on the object you wish to flick, pull back, and let go when you think you've got it. You will see numbers on it just like the line tool. This will help give you an idea of how to adjust your flick power the next time. The further back you pull, the stronger the flick will be. If you made a mistake on what you'd like to flick or the position of where the flick is pointing, just move the line tool back to the 0 position and try again. The Joints tool is an advanced feature and there's a lot to it, so it will take some time to master. I'll be giving you a basic overview to get an idea of how it all works. The Joints tool allows you to connect objects together to create all sorts of things, like spinners, wheels, dials, and many other fun things. Some good examples of the Joints tool can be found in our Battle for Souls DLC with the Victory Points dial, the Monster Truck mod on the workshop, and the analog clock also on the workshop. Links to the mods can be found in the description below. To create a joint, select the Joint tool or press the F7 hotkey. Your pointer will turn into a chain link. Draw a line from one object to another, remembering to always connect to the base. Here, I'm connecting the red blocks to the larger blue block, since I'll be making the red blocks my wheels. If you want to remember which part is your base, you can always lock it and mark it with the Vector Paint tool, or you can change the color of it by right-clicking and choosing Color Tint. We've linked objects together, but now what? Let's see how we can manipulate parts of the joint. Right-click on the object you wish to modify. Here I'm selecting all the wheels by Control-clicking and then right-clicking on one of them to open up the Joints menu. The Joints menu will pop up with 3 tabs for the different joints: Fixed, Hinge, and Spring. Each have their own properties that you can tweak. Mousing over each property will give a brief description. Fixed joints restricts an object's movement to be dependent upon another object, so the object is welded in that exact position and orientation. Fixed joints are good for compound objects, like attaching a bunch of smaller objects together to make a bigger object. Hinge joints group together objects, constraining them to move like they are connected by a hinge. Objects are connected positionally so things can rotate freely, but are still in the same relative position. Motor components also help to add power if needed. Hinge joints are good for making cars, doors, wheels, and spinners. Spring joints are a combination of fixed and hinge, but there's some leeway so it can move away from itself. It's like connecting an object with a rubber band. Spring joints are good for making snake-like objects, or objects that swing from the ceiling, like a wrecking ball. We haven't really seen anyone make good use of springs yet, so if you make something, post it below or on our forum so we can see it. For this particular overview, I'm going to make changes to the Hinge tab. Since I want the red blocks to work like wheels, I need to make some changes to the motor force, motor velocity, and check the motor-free spin box. The motor velocity is the speed that my wheels are trying to attain, so this will make my little block car move super fast or super slow. Here it is moving slowly. Now if I increase the amount, you can see that it moves much faster. The motor force is how long it'll take to get there. Just play around with it to really get a feel for it. It will take a lot of practice to get it right. I have a few examples here showing how they move when I change the axis. One uses the x-axis, one uses the y, and the one I wanted to use to make my little car move forward was the z-axis. To unhinge a joint, all you do is use the Joint tool and click and drag from your jointed object to essentially nothing. Basically just drag it over the table and your object is now unjointed. This is just one of many things you can do with the Joint tool. Remember to check out the examples I mentioned earlier and have fun with it. The Text tool can be used on the table or on any locked objects, similar to the Vector tool. To use the Text tool, select it on the side menu or press the F8 hotkey. Your pointer will turn into a T for the 3D pointer or a text caret for the 2D pointer. Click anywhere on the table and enter in your text. You can modify the size of your text as well as change the color. To delete text, just click the trash can icon. To delete all the text that you have on the table, hover over the text tool icon on the left and click the trash can icon from there. To write text on actual objects like cards, books, etc., you need to first lock the object in place. So put the object where you want and then lock it. Then use the text tool and write on it as normal. At this time, there's no way to move the text from the original spot. You'll just need to delete it and type it all out again. The points tool is a fun one because it can really enhance the quality of your game and make moving and placing objects that much better. There are two different kinds of points. First is the snap points. While having the snap points tool selected or pressing the F9 hotkey, you can place snap points anywhere on the board to make pieces snap into place like a magnet at specific locations. To make placement easier, you can also make use of the grid lines to easily place the snap points down if you need to do so in a straight line. Rotation snap points are fun because while they work like the regular snap points, they go a step further. You can press the arrows to change the rotation of the snap points. This is good for things that are curved or need to be facing a certain position. The points can be rotated every 15 degrees. So if you place the rotation snap point and rotate it at 45 degrees, then when an object is placed down on it, it will snap into place and also rotate to that position. Using points really make the positioning and rotation of objects easier to use and place down. Points can also be placed on locked objects, with the points attaching to the locked object so you can easily move these around. A couple important things to note. Clicking on an unlocked object will place the snap point right where the object is, but is attached to the table and not the object. Points can be easily moved by click dragging if you don't want to delete them. To delete a snap point, you just click the point while the point tool is selected. It will be highlighted red. To delete all snap points, hover over the points tool icon and click the trash can. The Gizmo tool allows you to rotate and move objects without any limitations. The Move tool lets you move objects up, down, left, and right. While you can also do this normally, you can use this for locked objects and intricate placement. There's no need to unlock the objects to move them. Keep them locked and use the Move tool to place them where you want. The Rotate tool is used to rotate objects from 3 different axes. The colors are red, blue, and green. When you have an axis selected, it will change to yellow. And just like the Move tool, you can lock an object in place and then rotate it to make it easier and get the exact positioning that you want. And that covers everything about the Tools menu. The next video in this series will be going over the Contextual menu. You can find all this info and more in our knowledge base. There's a link listed below in the description. If you still have questions about something, then please ask in our forums as we have a very helpful community. Thanks for watching and see you next time!